The first lawsuit has been filed following the FTX scandal. Who is included? Let's dive in. Edwin Garrison has filed a complaint against Sam Bankman-Fried and others in a class action lawsuit in the Southern District of Florida. Everyone is getting sued. Sam, Tom Brady and Giselle, Steph Curry, Shaquille O'Neal, Udonis Haslem, David Ortiz, Naomi Osaka, Larry David, and Kevin O'Leary. As a result, American consumers collectively sustained over $11 billion in damages. FTX organized and emanated its fraudulent plan from its worldwide headquarters located here in Miami, Florida. The balance sheet he sent around to prospective investors was leaked by the Financial Times and reveals the exchange had nearly $9 billion in liabilities while only having just over $1 billion in liquid assets. The $8 billion delta between assets and liabilities is so scary because of how quickly someone can wreck multiple billions of dollars worth of damages from retail investors. FTX was already very familiar with Miami, signing a deal worth more than $135 million for the naming rights of the waterfront arena where three-time NBA champions the Miami Heat play. The Miami Heat will be able to find another sponsor pretty quickly, but that's a pretty steep hit. It's reported that Loan Depot pays around $10 million annually for naming rights to the Miami Marlins Stadium. If anyone has $10 million sitting around and loves social experiments, we could name the new Miami Heat arena after my YouTube channel just to see how many subscribers I'd get. The Houston Astros dealt with a similar PR disaster when they played at Enron Field in 2001, right before that company's collapse. In my video about this scandal the other day, many pointed out that they aren't influenced to sign up from a stadium or TV celebrity, which is likely very accurate. Advertisers spend the money they do for awareness. It's not direct signups using a link, but it does work. As mentioned earlier with FTX losing billions of dollars, that meant their advertising influenced billions of dollars in signups. No advertiser is able to dissect exactly what led to the consumer signing up, which is why they will pour money into stadiums and Tom Brady for brand awareness to millions of potential customers. Social media influencer marketing is powerful because advertisers can track consumer signups from the direct links posted in their content. This is why money is pouring into influencer marketing, sometimes at what feels like a ridiculous rate because advertisers can track their exact ROI. When you have a commercial featuring Tom Brady, Giselle Bündchen, or Steph Curry, it's impossible to know how much influence they have because you can't directly track whether they're driving signups. A fascinating dynamic of this scandal is attempting to figure out exactly where the influence comes from. I have a very educated guess on how much influence the YouTube community had on FTX, and it is a fraction of a single percent of the billions mentioned. This is why the big names will get sued first, guys like Tom Brady and Stephen Curry. Something that seemed to be missed in my video the other day is that my position was that everyone who promotes a fraudulent business should be held responsible and open to lawsuits. One of the goals of bankruptcy is to avoid favoring one creditor with a windfall while giving others less than they're entitled to receive under the bankruptcy priority payment rules, so the bankruptcy trustee can reverse certain transfers and distribute the funds among your creditors. A reason why Tom Brady and others can't just come out and say, I'm returning all of the money FTX paid me or I'm donating it is because of this principle. The lawsuit is alleging that this is a class action for a sum of more than $5 million. I've seen the comments of people upset that Tom Brady and others haven't returned the money yet. There is a process for making sure this happens. You're probably going to be a little upset when you find out how much lawyers are going to take from the pool of money that should be going to the victims too. The lawsuit also mentions how massive FTX was with assets totaling between $10 billion to $50 billion. Bankman-Fried got rich off FTX and Alameda, with the two companies netting $350 million and $1 billion in profit respectively in 2020 alone, according to Bloomberg. Sam's net worth going from billions to zero in one day was such a misleading news story. This dude has been siphoning off money the entire time, knowing his risky decisions would lead to eventual bankruptcy. Earlier this year, Bankman-Fried secretly transferred at least $4 billion in customer funds from FTX to Alameda without telling anyone. FTX president Mr. Harrison said, "We know that we had to embark on some kind of mass branding, advertising, sponsorship type work in order to be able to do that." If you spent time in the YouTube finance space, then you definitely knew they were aggressive with their marketing and budget. The most interesting part about this lawsuit is if they determine the product to be a security. They're essentially making the argument that this was a security. This is where the lawsuit can get really interesting. FTX offered 8% interest on USD deposit product a few months before its collapse. Offering a specific interest rate on deposits certainly sounds like more of a security than not, but I'm not an expert in that area, so we'll have to see how the law plays out. When I first began taking on sponsors, I told my agency any crypto-related sponsors were a no-go because I always felt like there was way too much risk for my brand just because of all the risk associated with anything crypto. I hate that there are victims in this fraud scheme, but I did my best to make videos telling people to invest in real estate and not crypto a year ago. I do think anyone who promoted FTX should be forced to return all money earned from endorsing the company, and I don't think any of those guys would disagree. I think that's a reasonably easy way to begin reducing the creditors' amounts. This is an unfortunate situation where billions of dollars were lost to a crazy financial criminal. If you're a victim from this, I hope you're able to recover and bounce back. Thanks for watching.